Here now to assess the ongoing issues at the southern border and how Republicans will hold the powerful accountable is Ohio Congressman Jim Jordan. Chairman, let's talk a little bit about that. Dick Durbin says, give them citizenship if they just join the military, illegals. And Dan Goldman says, well, the reason why there's so much fentanyl killing hundreds of thousands of Americans is because of our Second Amendment, allowing drug cartels to get guns. What are your thoughts on the Democrats? What are they really up to, Congressman?
The reason, Eric, the reason fentanyl is coming in the country is because on day one, the Biden administration made a decision. They intentionally said, we are going to stop building the wall. We're going to get rid of a Remain in Mexico policy where they would stay there. Migrants would stay in Mexico while we evaluate their asylum claim. And the biggest thing is they said, when you get to our country, you will be released. We will not detain anyone. You will be released to wherever you're going to go in our country. Those three things intentionally done on January 20th, 2021 are the reason we have this unprecedented wave of migrants come in the country, an open border, and the fentanyl crisis, which is doing so much harm to so many families and communities.
Joe Biden says it's you guys that are the problem. Listen.
Extreme Republicans are playing chicken with our national security, holding Ukraine's funding hostage to their extreme partisan border policies.
First of all, can we just talk about, I watched that guy. How is he going to run in 2024 and be president for the next 10 months, 11 months? And then how's he going to do it after that? He's losing his facilities. Yeah. Anyway, I digress. Yeah. So weigh in on the fact that it's your guys playing chicken.
Well, we're not. We actually want to go. This is why in any poll you see out there, President Trump is winning big in the Republican primary and beating Joe Biden in every national poll, because the country sees that we went from a secure border to no border. That is, and a host of other issues. We went from safe streets to record crime. We went from $2 gas to $4 and $5 gas. We went from stable prices to record inflation, and maybe to the Joe Biden losing, kind of his faculties and being in the condition he is. Foreigners see this. There's like, look, the bad guys around the planet see this. I would argue this is why why Russia went into Ukraine. In fact, I remember Mike Pompeo getting asked a question a year and a half ago. That he was asked, would this have happened in a Trump administration? And Secretary Pompeo said, he gave, I think, the best answer. He said, well, the short answer is, I don't know, but I do know this. It didn't happen in a Trump administration. So that's the scariest thing of all. But for him to say it's our fault on the border, you got to be kidding me. The numbers speak for themselves. And anyone with common sense sees this happen because of those three decisions they intentionally made on day one.
Congressman, what are your thoughts on tying the funding for foreign wars or Ukraine, Israel, et cetera, to border security? And I'm reasoning because Joe Biden wants $106 billion. He wants $60 billion for Ukraine. He wants 14 for Israel and only 14 for our own southern border. What are your thoughts on this process and their ideas?
I'm all for helping Israel. This is our closest and dearest friend. We should help Israel. What happened to them was as wrong could be, and Israel needs the time, the resources to go kill the evil terrorists. So I'm all for helping Israel. With Ukraine, the only way I think you send the money to Ukraine is, first of all, tell us what the objective is. Second, we got to have an inspector general there making sure that the money is actually being used for what it's supposed to be used. And third, and most importantly, is it shouldn't happen unless, as we've been saying, as Republicans on Capitol Hill have been saying, it shouldn't happen until we secure our border first. So the only way to secure our border is to go back to legislation we passed in the House several months ago, H.R. 2, which did border security, immigration enforcement, went back to the policies that worked under President Trump. That's the only way to do it. So you could set up that trade in a divided government where if our border is secured, then we're willing to help Ukraine. But short of that, I don't see it happening. I know conservatives like me and a bunch of other conservatives in the House, we're not going to support just sending more money to Ukraine. I've voted against a bunch of those bills that have already happened earlier on Ukraine, and I think that would be the same result if they tried to just send the money there and not fix our border.
What if they flipped it? What if you guys, the House, sends it back to Biden, the Senate, and then Biden saying $60 billion for the border, U.S. border, 14 for Israel, and 14 for Ukraine? Was that something you could jump on?
Well, it's not the money so much, it's the policy. In fact, more money just going to the border right now under Joe Biden's policies, and Mayorkas is the way he's running the Department of Homeland Security, more money just means more people there to process migrants coming into the country faster and send them to wherever they're going to go across the United States. So money's not the answer. The answer is, frankly, you could really do a great service to the country with one sentence. No money can be used to process or release into the country any new migrants. You do that, you stop the problem. Like, you can't spend any more. This is the power of the purse that Congress has. I was for that sentence back in the fall, earlier in the fall when we were debating some of the funding bills. But that sentence in and of itself would, I think, stop it. And then you have to deal with what's already taken place, the millions who've already come.
Don't you dare retire the way Kevin McCarthy's doing. Don't you dare. Congress needs you. America needs you. Congressman, Chairman Jim Jordan, thank you for joining us.
Thank you, Eric. Take care.